For 3 hours that night, I felt like I was finally being myself. The dress fit perfectly, the makeup looked flawless, and for the first time in my life, I moved through a party like I actually belonged there. I was talking to people I'd never had the courage to approach before, dancing without feeling awkward. Everything was going exactly the way I dreamed it would. Then someone from my past showed up and said 5 words that changed everything. "Casey? Dude, is that you in a dress?" His voice carried across the entire room. Conversation stopped, heads turned, phones appeared from nowhere, already recording. In 10 seconds, it felt like the floor opened beneath me, and my perfect night turned into something out of a scary movie. But that night didn't begin on the dance floor. It began 3 weeks earlier, with one decision that lit the fuse on everything that followed. My roommate had moved out the week before. The room felt huge with just one bed, one desk, one person. For the first time in college, I had complete privacy. That's when the party invitation popped up. Halloween Masquerade Ball. The theme caught my attention immediately. Be anyone but yourself. I stared at those words for 20 minutes. Be anyone but yourself. The idea that had been floating around in the back of my mind for years suddenly had an opportunity. Standing there in jeans and a hoodie, I wondered what it would actually feel like. To dress up, to try something different, to see what I might look like as someone else. The thought was terrifying and exciting at the same time. I needed help, and there was only one person I trusted enough to even ask. What I didn't know was that this conversation would set everything in motion. I met Jordan Martinez at our usual coffee spot. We'd been friends since freshman year, but I'd never brought up anything like this before. It took me 15 minutes to actually say it out loud. I want to go to the Halloween party as a girl. I know it sounds crazy, but I want to try it. Jordan was quiet for a moment, then smiled. Okay, but if we're doing this, we're doing it properly. No half measures. Jordan approached this like a personal project. The next day, we drove to 3 different thrift stores looking for the perfect dress. Something elegant, but not too fancy. Something that would actually fit my body. Then came the makeup lessons. Jordan had me watching online tutorials until 2 a.m., practicing on my own face with cheap drugstore cosmetics. Foundation, concealer, eyeshadow. I'd never realized how much technique was involved. We drove to the next town over to buy a wig where no one would recognize us. I felt ridiculous trying on different styles, but Jordan was determined to find something that looked natural with my face shape. And then there were the heels. Jordan made me practice walking in them every night behind my locked dorm room door. At first, I could barely take 2 steps without wobbling, but slowly I started to get the hang of it. My first few attempts were rough. My makeup looked like a child had applied it. Walking in heels was like learning to balance on stilts. Everything felt awkward and obvious. But Jordan was patient. We practiced every night for 2 weeks. Slowly, I started to get the hang of it. My makeup got smoother. My walk got steadier. The reflection in the mirror started looking less like a guy in costume and more like someone else. By Halloween week, I was actually getting good at this. But being good at it in private was one thing. Doing it in front of other people was completely different. I had no idea that the outfit hanging in my closet would completely transform not just how I looked, but how I felt about myself. October 31st, 7 p.m. Jordan had been working on me for 3 hours. Every detail carefully planned, every line precisely drawn. I watched Jordan work like an artist. Foundation smoothed away the masculine angles of my face. Contouring created curves that had never existed. Eye makeup made my eyes look twice as large, twice as expressive. When Jordan finally stepped back from the mirror, I couldn't breathe. The person staring back looked different. Not like Casey Thompson from Chemistry 101, but not like a stranger either. The black dress hugged in all the right places. The makeup highlighted features I'd never noticed before. But most importantly, for the first time in 19 years, I looked in a mirror and didn't immediately look away. Walking in heels still felt like learning a new language. Each step required concentration, but my body seemed eager to learn this different way of moving through space. Standing at my dorm room door, I faced a choice: stay safe inside or step into the unknown. What I decided next would determine everything. My reflection in the car window looked like someone else entirely. Someone confident. someone beautiful, someone who belonged at parties like this. The bouncer barely glanced up before waving us through with a casual, "Evening, ladies." 2 words that hit me like electricity. He hadn't questioned anything. To him, I was exactly who I appeared to be. The party was perfect for this experiment. Dimmed lights, elaborate masks, everyone transformed into fantasy versions of themselves. I realized I wasn't the only one hiding tonight. For the first time ever, I moved through a party without anxiety. Conversations flowed easily. Compliments came naturally. Other students smiled when I approached them, not looking through me like they usually did. That's when Derek Sullivan from Chemistry 101 appeared. He'd never given me a second glance before, but tonight he was completely captivated by this mysterious girl in black. Talking with Derek felt surreal. I'd watched him from across lecture halls for months, but tonight, Derek was hanging on every word I said, laughing at my jokes, looking at me like I was the most interesting person in the room. Dancing together felt natural, electric, perfect. Derek's hand on my waist, my head on Derek's shoulder during slow songs. For 2 hours, I lived in a world where this was normal, expected, right. Then Derek started asking questions. Where did I go to school? What was my major? Had we met before? My carefully constructed evening was about to come crashing down, but I didn't know Jake would be there. Before I could deflect Derek's questions, Jake Patterson, my former roommate, stumbled across the dance floor, drunk and loud and pointing directly at me. "Casey? Dude, is that you in a dress?" Jake's voice boomed across the room, exposing me in front of everyone. Conversation stopped. Heads turned. Phones appeared from nowhere, already recording. This was the moment from my nightmares. Standing exposed in front of everyone, secret revealed, nowhere to run. Jake continued his commentary while more people gathered to witness the spectacle. Derek stepped back, confusion and surprise replacing the attraction in his eyes. The magic of the evening shattered in seconds. I wanted to disappear, to explain, to run, anything but stand there being stared at like a circus act. Jake's friends joined in with jokes and comments. Some people defended me, others just watched like it was entertainment. The beautiful, confident person I'd been for 3 hours was being stripped away in real time. I had 2 choices: run away in shame or face this moment head on. The choice I made next would change how I saw myself forever. Instead of running, I did something that surprised even me. I walked directly up to Jake, looked him in the eye, and spoke clearly enough for everyone to hear. I didn't apologize, didn't explain, didn't justify. I just said I was experimenting with expression and it wasn't hurting anyone. The confidence in my voice surprised me most of all. The reactions were everything I'd expected: confusion, support, judgment, curiosity. But standing there in that black dress, owning the moment instead of hiding from it, I discovered I could handle all of it. Derek stood there for a long moment, processing everything. Then he asked if I wanted to get some air, away from the crowd and the phones and Jake's continued commentary. Outside, Derek admitted he was confused but not angry. He'd been attracted to me all evening. That hadn't been fake. He asked genuine questions about gender expression, about my experience, about what this meant. We talked for an hour. About identity, authenticity, the masks everyone wore every day. Derek said I'd seemed more alive tonight than ever before in chemistry class. When we finally went back inside, some people stared. Others had moved on to different drama. I danced a few more songs, talked to curious classmates, and answered questions with growing confidence. I sat in my dorm room at 3 a.m., still wearing the black dress, scrolling through the videos people had posted online. Some were mocking, others were supportive, most were just documenting what they'd witnessed. In the harsh dorm lighting, I examined my reflection one more time. The makeup was fading, my hair was messed, but the person looking back still felt interesting, worth exploring further. Putting on pajamas felt strange after 6 hours in a dress, like switching languages mid-sentence. I hung the dress carefully in my closet, not sure when I'd wear it again, but knowing I would. The texts were still coming in, some from friends offering support, a few from people who'd been at the party asking questions. One from Derek, just saying he'd enjoyed talking tonight and asking if I wanted to grab coffee sometime. I turned off the phone and stared at the ceiling. Tomorrow would bring regular clothes and regular expectations. but nothing could erase tonight. For a few hours, I wasn't pretending. I wasn't hiding. I was me. And that was enough. Some experiences change you immediately. Have you ever had a moment where you stopped hiding and felt truly alive? I wasn't sure which category this night fell into. But lying there in the dark, I knew one thing for certain. Some masks hide us, others reveal us. That night, I discovered a version of myself I couldn't ignore, and I knew I'd never go back to hiding completely. The Gender Diary exists to light that path with shared stories. Whether you found connection in this narrative, you're on your own journey of gender exploration, or you're here seeking understanding, your subscription fuels our mission. Every subscriber empowers us to keep illuminating these authentic experiences for our community. Kindly drop a comment below. Your voice adds to the tapestry of experiences that makes this space meaningful. Until our next story unfolds.